No, this is more like it. January. A bad movie that's simply earnestly, lovably, hilariously bad. It doesn't make me think the entire world is going to shit. Hi everyone, it's me, Grant, the movie and TV guy. By the way, I have been to Sundance. I've seen some cool movies. I'm not done yet. We're going to talk next weekend about that. But I have some stuff in the can. If you go on my letterbox, you can see some early reviews as well as my TikTok. But we're not talking about those movies because they're actually pretty good. We're talking about a movie that's bad in the most glorious way. Not Redeeming Love bad, though. Because it's, watchable. And that's... it's welcome to... TV's Grant. Raise on Popcorn with Grant. I'm Grant, the movie and TV guy. We're going to talk about a movie. Movies and TV is what we do here. And today we're talking about a movie, the best bad movie of 2014. And that is The King's Daughter. Spoiler alert, we're going to spoil the shit out of this. The King's Daughter is directed by Sean McNamara, the wonderkind behind such Kubrickian masterpieces as Three Ninjas 4, Bratz, Baby Geniuses 3, 4, and 5, and Cats and Dogs 3 Paws United, among others. But also was the creator of Even Stevens. And That's So Raven. So he had to go with the bad. And he directed this film, and I believe co-wrote it, perhaps? No, he didn't. He just directed it. But The King's Daughter, the film is a fantastical story. It's based on a novel. It stars Kaya Scodelario, who I'm pretty sure I just butchered her name. Sorry, miss. She plays Marie Joseph, and the reason I know her name is Marie Joseph is the name Marie Joseph is said about 17,000 times. Marie Joseph, Marie Joseph. She is a young orphan being raised by the nuns in France in old timey 1700s. What she does not know, that we were informed right away, is that she is the illegitimate daughter of the King of Versailles, played hilariously over the top by Pierce Brosnan, he of the crazy hairdo. She goes to spend some time with the king and soon discovers her identity, and soon begins to fall for a swashbuckling member of the king's army, played by Benjamin Walker, who is Scodelario's real-life husband, who she met on this film, and now has 2 children with. Why? How is that, you say? Well, we'll get there. And she also befriends a kind-hearted mermaid, played by a Bing Bing Fan, who was also more recently in the 355, and she attempts to free her, despite the King of England wanting the creature to vivisect, to suck out her essence to gain eternal life. That's what this movie's about. So, very poorly edited and recut and stitched together shenanigans ensue over roughly 90 minutes of screen time for what is clearly a 2-hour movie or more. So, I'm just gonna I kind of love this movie. It's not good at all. Hear me out. It is not good at all. I'm not gonna go high on the score here, but man, I needed this. Like, the ratio was so off. Because, like, Redeeming Love, anyone who saw my video knows, I don't think I even cracked a smile once in that video. I was just... That was, up until Sundance, so that was, 2 days, that movie put me in a bad mood. It was morally reprehensible. This is perfectly harmless, but it's also bad, and probably worse made, but it's so harmless that I really couldn't help but smile through most of this. I couldn't really laugh much because there was one other guy in the screening with me. So first off, I think to talk about this movie with any kind of detail, we need to talk about the production history, because it's kind of a movie, it could be a movie in and of itself. So I mentioned Benjamin Walker and Kaya Scodelario. They're a family of 4 now. How did this happen? Well, here's how. Their children are quite young. The movie was supposed to come out. This movie was originally titled The Moon and the Sun. That's the name of the book, so it was going to be called. I saw trailers for this movie, I'm almost certain, or at least I had heard of this movie a decade ago. I don't know how I heard of it. I think there was a poster, maybe a trailer, and it was supposed to come out by Paramount. This movie was shot and finished, pretty much, in 2014. It was supposed to come out, I think, in the spring of 2015. They stated that 2 weeks before its opening day, the original opening day, they pulled it from the release calendar saying they needed to finish the special effects. And then it changed distributors. It went to through virtual sales at Cannes like 2 years ago after basically lingering on a vault somewhere in Paramount. It finally found a home with Gravitas Ventures, which is like this real, mostly does direct-to-video films, who gave it a wide release commitment because I think they were contractually obligated to. And in that time, it has now taken 8 years for this movie to see the light of day. And in that time, they met on this movie and they fell in love, which is probably the most notable thing about it. You couldn't tell from watching this, but to be fair, I don't think that's the actor's fault, because I'm going to come right out with this. This movie is so stitched together, it's like stitched together with Elmer's glue stick. Like, this movie is so piss poor in how it's structured. You can tell this was a much longer movie. It's not even that badly acted. It's just that I don't think it was the take they gave, because it's so chopped up. It is so re-edited. And they basically, there's whole chunks of information in this movie that is given entirely through narration, late in the game narration. Apparently they didn't even add this until like last year they recorded this. By Julie Andrews, who, God bless her, gives the film a little more class than it deserves, just by being, awesome Julie Andrews. But like, the movie, this is not a finished movie. This is not a movie that is in releasable order, and yet they released it just the same. It's 90 minutes, 15 at least of that must be credits, because the credits never ended. It is shoddy. It is the Cliff Notes of a longer movie, with whole chunks missing and stitched back together. And Pierce Brosnan, God bless him, his hair and his vocal inflections are the performance in this. You cannot get past the hair. He has the most ridiculous hairdo I've ever seen in a movie. It is atrociously bad. It looks like he's wearing a bad piece. It's really bad. Kaya Scodelario, again, bless her heart, she's a fine young English character actress who has kind of elevated movies that are otherwise kind of forgettable, including, like, more recently Resident Evil. She totally is giving 110% to a movie that really doesn't deserve her effort. Benjamin Walker, too. I think I said in another video, he's my fourth favorite screen Abraham Lincoln vampire. Wasted in this. You don't really even hear his name spoken until, like, the last, 10 minutes of the movie. You don't know anything about him. The narration fills in a lot of the romance. You don't really see a lot of romantic scenes. You see a couple, and then they're madly in love. It almost seems like, in one review, I think it was AV Club mentioned that she looks like she's more in love with the mermaid. And kind of. It's weird. This whole movie and the whole plot, maybe it was just that the plot was impossible to make work, because on paper, in a book, like in a novel where you kind of have to create the imagery yourself, the idea of the King of Versailles being obsessed with cutting open a merwoman and taking her life essence to essentially be young forever might work, but on film, it's just kind of silly. Like, I have to get that mermaid, and these things it's like, you are my daughter, you will not... I'm paraphrasing, it's not the actual line, but you know what I'm saying. It's kind of silly. The other thing that brings me to is this. Who is this movie made for? The movie is rated PG. It has this gloss of kind of this Disney-ish gloss. I think Disney was one of the people who was going to distribute it way earlier, in development. It's like a children's movie all intents and purposes. I think they actually had ads on Nickelodeon or something for it. But it's way too much about palace intrigue and romance for little kids. It's way too silly for adults, and it's way too rushed and kind of haphazard for romance and fairy tale fans. So who is this really for? I mean, and the swoony romance isn't developed enough for teenagers. Who is this really for? I don't really get who this movie is aimed at. There are scenes in this movie that you just, if you have any kind of sense of what a good movie is, you just laugh. Sound design will cut in and out of sync from moment to moment. Characters will look younger and older between shots where reshoots clearly took place. And especially toward the end, it's very obvious. There's a very visible scene of a sunset on a cliff where you can just tell that Kaya Scodelario is a couple of years older and maybe even a little taller than she was during a lot of the other movie. And she looks a little older. And scenes like that, there are scenes where characters speak in ADR that's kind of choppy, and they get around it by cutting quickly to reverse shot. There's moments where a close-up is really in focus, and then a group shot is way out of focus. It's a really sloppy movie. There's one scene where and there's like scenes where like it can go from a scene where the girl finds out that her dad's gonna cut the mermaid open to like a Disney Channel style like That's a Raven gag where a temple guard gets kicked in the nads and like Disney Channel music play. Who is this? What is this about? And who is it for? But I really had a good time with it. It was fun. I didn't hate the experience because it was just so. I was never bored watching The King's Daughter. It was entertaining. I'd probably watch it again. I feel like, though, some of the rumors, like including that this is only being released in theaters because they were contractually obligated when it was in production, probably hold some weight. Because this would not be released in theaters unless it was that. I feel like this is, even with the cast it is, it's not, the only real A-lister they kind of have is Pierce Brosnan. And even he's kind of done shit like The Misfits. So this would have gone on VOD if it wasn't for earlier contractual obligations. This movie sucks, but I really enjoyed myself. Like, if it's on the worst of the list, it's gonna go a lot lower than, say, Redeeming Love. It's gonna be in, like, the same boat as, like, True to the Game 3. Maybe Sean Magner will like my review, like David Wolfgang did. Let's hope. So I'm gonna give this 1 star, but it's an affectionate 1 star. It's a 5 for entertainment value, but a 1 for quality. This movie sucks, but man, I would recommend it under the right circumstances, just for bad movie lovers. And there's one shot in particular I have to single out that made me want to laugh really hard. I actually think I kind of got to out. There's a shot where it's like a faraway shot where it's Pierce Brosnan standing on the balcony of this like palace. I will say this: the palace looks some of the visuals are kind of pretty when you can kind of catch the camera stops cutting long enough to see it. Some of it does look like a bad early 2010 screensaver though, that the actors are dropped into. But especially at the end, there's kind of a shot that's supposed to be like this beautiful thing that looks really shitty. But there's like he's on a balcony of this kind of glittering palace, and it's just kind of from far away, and then a little closer, a little closer, and I was just like, and he's just sitting there going like, oh yes. Oh, yes. Another scene. I will say this. I will single out the one person whose performance does shine through as being William Hurt is really good in this movie. Like, genuinely really good. Like, he actually is not harmed. His performance is not harmed by the editing choices. But yeah, this movie sucks. Alright, 1 star. Let's finish this up because I'm running out of time and I don't want to make this a half-hour video because I got shit to do and it's late. So, let's close the book on this, you guys. Let's talk about some trailer trash. 1 star. Let's close the book on it. Trailer trash, a lot of these can go through quickly, except for the first one. This is one I'd not even heard of. The Wolf and the Lion. This movie looks adorbs. The plot doesn't look that substantial, but the little babies are cute. Little baby animals. Maybe I'll check it out. Lightyear, sick of talking about it. Unbreakable Boy, already sick of talking about it. Cyrano, sick of talking about it. Uncharted, newer trailer, but just come out already. Marry Me. Oh my god, stop showing this trailer. Please stop showing this trailer. I know people, I think it is well and truly in our brains now, and whoever is going to go see Marry Me is going to go see Marry Me, who has been to the theater in the last 2 months. Stop showing this fucking trailer. I am so tired of the Marry Me trailer. I know it's something, I think I say this in every video, but I'm gonna see the movie when it comes out for the channel. I don't really think it looks that good, but I love Owen Wilson. I like Jennifer Lopez. I am gonna go see it, but stop with the trailer. I can memorize it by heart. It's so overdone now. Stop it. It's in every movie. My heart sinks when they have the opening shot of her practicing the song with the dancers. I'm tired of the trailer. Stop it. Trailer, was there shawarma? No, there was not. Alright, coming up, we got, I don't know what we got coming up. We got Jackass 4 coming up, Studio 666, and Sundance. So that'll all be next time, and until next time, I'm Grant, the movie and TV guy. I see it all. I'm happy to share with you. I love you all. I appreciate you all. I love you, classmates. I love you 3000. Be kind to one another. If you want to find me elsewhere, reviews, this, and other fun stuff, you can check me out on letterboxd.com at Raised on Popcorn with Grant, as well as on TikTok at Raised on Popcorn with Grant. Some of you already have, but even if you haven't, take care of yourself, take care of your mental health, and remember, we were all raised on popcorn. Make mine with extra butter. And King's Daughter is a lot of fun if you're in the right frame of mind and maybe inhaled the right kind of substance. Unless you're a child. Kids might actually like this, honestly. Little kids who haven't seen a lot of movies might actually dig this. Alright. Thank you all. Take care. Bye.